Hey guys, Caitlin here with lesson 21 on your homework. Last page, let's look at the first problem. Noah says that 9x minus 2x plus 4x is equivalent to 3x because the subtraction sign tells us to subtract everything that comes after the 9x. He's saying this minus sign affects the 2x and the 4x. Elena says that 9x minus 2x plus 4x is equivalent to 11x because the subtraction only applies to the 2x. Do you agree with either of them? I agree with Elena. Okay, the only time that a minus sign affects more than one thing that follows it is if it's followed by a group. I'm going to write that down. The only time a minus affects more than what follows is with parentheses. That's the only time. And there's no parentheses in this problem. So Elena's got it. You'll do 9x minus 2x. You'll get 7x. 7x plus 4x is 11x's. Number 2. Identify the error that was made in generating the expression that was supposed to be equal to this original one here that we're seeing. And then we're going to correct the error. Okay. So it looks like the first thing they did is they went through and they made all of their minuses plus negatives. I'm okay with that. That's fine by me. Okay, first step, everything looks peachy. The next thing they did is it looks like they're distributing the half. So negative half times positive 10 gives us a negative 5. Negative half times negative 4x gives us a positive 2x. I like that. Like, I'm okay with everything thus far. And then it looks like they changed the plus negative 5 to a minus 5. Once again, that is perfectly fine by me. That's the same thing, taking away 5. And then they kind of go crazy and they go from all of this just to an answer of negative 1. And I'm thinking, what did they do? And I think what they did is they just added all of the numbers together and ignored the x's. Nope, I see what they did. They thought the two x's were going to cancel because of the minus. Yeah, the two x's aren't going to cancel. So the error would be from here to here. So identify the error. Okay, so combining 2x and 2x to make 0 is their mistake. What they should have done is they should have written 4 plus a negative 5. They never should have really taken that minus out. They should have just left it as a plus a negative is really what they should have done. And then plus 2x plus 2x. Yes, you do get a negative 1 when you combine those, but you also get a 4x. So you could have negative 1 plus 4x, or you could have 4x minus 1. Either one of those would be fine. All right, number 3. I'm going to prove that this expression is actually equal to every one of these. So for people that are not watching this video and just copying down what I do, I'm not going to circle them, but I'm telling you in the video that every one of those should be circled because every one of them is actually the same as this one. All right. So I'll prove the first one to you. All right. If you have 5x minus the group of 15 and 20x added together plus 10, the group is being taken away. So that means it's a minus 15, which we see here. And it's also minusing a 20x, which we see here. So without the grouping, you could just write it as that minus that minus that. So A is the same thing as the original one. The group just changed it where it kind of distributed the takeaway. On the second one, part B, it's the same because all they did is they went back to the original one and they just added the opposites. And it's the same thing. So that makes the same result there. On the third one, it's the same because what they did is they took the expression, they factored out a 5, and they're like, okay, what numbers times 5 give us all of these things? And it happens to be x because 5 times x is 5x, 5 times 3 is 15, 5 times 4x is 20, 5 times 2 is 10. So they just factored out a 5. Perfectly fine. On the fourth one, D, it also works to factor out a -5 because you'll get the exact same thing, except every one of the numbers in the group is just going to be the opposite of what it was. So x is now going to be -x, -3 is going to be +3, -4x is going to be +4x, +2 is going to be plus a -2. So it's the same thing. They just switched all the signs around. Perfectly fine. On part E, what they did is they simplified by combining the like terms. What they did is they put the 5x and the 20x together. That made the -15x because the negatives win that battle. And they put the -15 and the 10 together, and the negatives win that by 5. So, E and B are the same thing. It's just combining like terms. So E is another thing that you should circle. And then lastly, what they did is they took E's expression and factored a -5 out of that. So -5 times +3x is -15. -5 times 1 is -5. So E and F are equivalent. It's just been factored by -5. So every one of these expressions, first one and all of the 6 that follow, they are the same thing, just different ways to write the same expression. Pretty cool. All right, number 4. The school marching band has a budget of up to $750 to cover 15 new uniforms and competition fees that total $300. How much can they spend for one uniform? All right. They've got a budget of up to 750. So that means they can get up to or equal to. So we need to stay under $750. All right. We got about 15 new uniforms. All right. So 15 things that I don't know how much they cost. So I'll call that X plus $300 in their fees for competitions. And we got to keep it under 750. That's our budget. So I've written the inequality for this problem where X is going to tell us the cost that the uniforms can be. So let's solve it. Let's take away the 300 first. So 750 minus 300 is 450. And then we just got to divide both sides by 15. Now 15 will go into 45 3 times, so this would be 30. And this inequality right here means that the cost of each uniform must be less than $30. All right, so each uniform must cost $30 or less. It could cost $30, we'd use all of our budget. If it was under that, we'd actually have some money left over afterwards. So we're shooting to stay under 30. Number 5, solve the inequality that represents the situation. For every $9 that Elena earns, she gives X dollars to charity. This happens 7 times this month. Elena wants to be sure to keep at least $42 from this month's earnings. So she wants to stay over 42. 7 times, she's going to take money away. 9 every $9, take away a little bit for charity. 7 times. So this setup represents that scenario. Let's solve it. We'll do the work over here. 7 times the group 9 minus x is greater or equal to 42. If 7 things equal 42, then one of them must equal 42 split up into 7 parts, which is 6. So 9 minus what is 6? Well, I know that that's 3. So x needs to be greater or equal to 3. Let's see if that makes sense for this problem. X represents how much money she's given to charity. So if she wants to have more than $42, does she need to give more than $3? That doesn't make sense. So we probably need to flip this inequality around. She needs to be like limited if she wants to have more than $42 in earnings this month. So at some point along the way, this probably got flipped. My guess is right here because we had a negative X, right? So really we need X to stay under, every $9, give $3 or less to charity. If you go more than that, you're not going to stay over 42 for your earnings. And that is our solution for that. And that is the end of your homework.